Hey YouTube, how you guys doing tonight? Kevin here coming at you. Okay, so what you have before you is a rotary valve 100cc KE style motor. This is the KD80, the KM, we call it the KH, all those rotary valve engines that we love so much on my page. KEs, KMs, KHs, MC1s, the 90. Anyway, I've been getting a lot of requests about the automatic oiler. You guys don't like the automatic oiler. I don't understand why. It's a very great, it's a great little machine. Basically, you put your gas in your tank and then your oil in your reserve, and then boom, it does it for you. And the only problem I've ever had with one of these was over oiling. So I haven't seen an engine fail because of it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I've just been doing it for a really long time and haven't seen it. But each to their own. Some people like to pretend that they're motocross bikes and mix the do a premix instead. Just cutting the hose or not putting oil to it's actually quite dangerous. Some of the things you guys need to know that there is a plastic gear that drives this pump. And if you just stop oil from that pump and this pump seizes up, basically what's going to happen is, this is the drive gear. It's a white plastic gear. These teeth will shear off, and then they'll get inside your transmission and can actually ruin your transmission. So it's very important to do this properly, this procedure. Some of the things that I always discuss things on the page and the proper ways of doing things. And there is no procedure per se to do this, but I'm going to show you how I would do it if I was to get rid of my oiler. And I hope you find this information useful. Okay, so we're going to start with the oil part of it, the oiler. There's preparations for both the oiler and the up front here, where the oil goes, it gets injected in. So we'll start with the oiler. What you're going to want to do with this is, obviously you're going to disconnect your your hose going down through, okay, and you're going to disconnect your cable. So the cable's going to be popped off. I recommend putting the cable up in a way where it's not going to get bound up, like on the opposite side of this, because it's just going to want to keep, throttling that up. So disconnect your cable, disconnect your hose from here. You're going to take a smaller piece of hose, stick it on this end, like that. And then you're going to take your other banjo fitting, off. There are two gaskets, don't lose them. There's a seal on both ends of this. There's one here and one on the bolt side. You're going to pop your hose off. Make sure you don't get no dirt in the threads or anything like this. This is a junk one, so I really don't care about it. I'm just doing it for the video purposes. Snug it down. Don't over tighten them. Then take a little bit of oil. Okay, you're going to fill up the end of the tube. Let's get you so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, you're going to fill up inside that hose. Okay, not a whole lot. Just a little bit. And then you're going to dump it back in here and put your clamps on. Okay, you're going to use your two clamps. Alright, so now what's happening is you have a little bit of oil in that line. It's just going to keep circulating. So as this thing is spinning, the oil is just going to be pumped back through. It's just going to go into a loop mode. Now this does a couple things for you guys. Okay, this keeps oil in your pump at all times. And if you ever decide to go back to a back to your oiler, it's easy. You just pop it back on, run a hose right over to it. Now, for this part right here, you don't want debris to get inside here. Okay? So, what I do is I get some vacuum caps. Pop your grommet off. Stick it through like that. And then boom. Now when you put your cover back on, it's still sealed up and you're good to go there. Now you have another problem. Okay? You have your cable going through here. And there's 2 holes in that grommet. So I just take a piece of the hose. Okay? That, you know, your oil hose. I cut it. And I fill it up with silicone. RTV silicone. See right there? I got silicone there and silicone there. I'm just using RTV black. Goes on the outside one. And now your cable's through here on this side. And your hose is right where it was before. That's going to fit there. Okay? So now, you're blocked off here. No debris can get into the carburetor section. And you won't get a lean condition from sucking air. This side right here is now water resistant, water free. And you put your cover back on. Your oiler is, if you decide you want to go back to it, you can. If you decided you wanted to keep it off, it still looks good. So either way, you're good to go. And just keep your cable on that side over there. I'm going to recommend one more thing. When the cable comes through, take a piece of vacuum line and stick it over the cable. I'm actually going to show you guys that. Okay. So what I'm recommending is take a piece of regular vacuum hose. And here's your end right here that goes onto your loops around, goes through here. Hooks onto your oiler. Okay, and then when you give it throttle, it pulls it back and forth. Well, this needs to be able to move still. So you take the piece of vacuum hose and you stick it over the top. And you stick it right on top of this. Okay, just like that. Now, the line can actually, it won't go out that far, but it can actually go to, when you throttle up, it can go back and forth. Okay? So it'll be sitting, on the hose will be on that side right there. Actually, let me put this in. I'll show you what it'll look like. I'd rather show you guys what this stuff is all looking like because, like I said, there's a proper way of doing things and then there's an improper way. And you have to think about these things. I know a lot of guys, they don't understand what I'm talking about and why I do what I do. So, we're going to make it so you guys do. Okay. Okay. So right now we have the cable coming through for the oiler. We're going to take that off. I'm going to stick this and we'll put it over the threads. Like that. And then lay it on the side so it fits underneath like that. Okay? Now the cable can go in and out. I'm actually moving the cable in and out. Right here. Sorry about that. And you can see what it's doing. It's doing absolutely nothing. So now, if you guys decide you want to go back to a automatic oiler, it's so easy. Okay, so now the reason for this, I'm going to go over this one more time so you guys can see what I'm doing and the reasons for it. Okay, so the reason for the vacuum hose over the over that cable, okay, is so that the cable can slide in and out without catching on anything inside here and snagging you up on your throttle. Second part, we blocked off the rubber grommet so no water or debris can get inside here and fill up with all kinds of dirt and debris and crap. We've put a loop hose on there filled it up with a little bit of oil. That way oil can circulate back and forth without destroying this gear. Okay? We moved over to here. We took a piece of the oil hose. We cut it down. We filled it up with silicone, stuffed it back through. And that's so No debris can go from here to here or from here to here. Okay? And it doesn't create a lean condition from sucking air. Okay? So these are very important things to do. Very, very important. Now, the most important part of the entire job is the last but not least. So, sorry about the wobbling. I'm going to move you guys up a little bit here. Hold on, I'm stuck on something. I got some stuff on the floor here. Okay. Alright. Now, for the most important part of the entire thing. Here is your intake manifold right here. That's where your carburetor mounts onto. And then this is your oiler. If you take this off and leave it off, you just gave your engine a death wish. What do I mean? That is going to suck air in, and it's going to act like a bad crank seal. This thing is going to rev up, and it's going to start to cook the piston. You're going to end up with a hot condition. So here's what you do. You get a 6mm 1.0 on the threads. Okay? Just a regular bolt. The smallest one you can find. You're going to use a flat washer. And then you're going to use a gasket. Okay? Just like that. See that right there? So I got a flat washer and then the gasket. The gasket goes on last. You can actually take the one right out of the banjo. Okay? Then you're going to tighten this in. You're not going to monkey tighten it. You're just going to snug it up. Like you would anything else. Okay? And the head on that is going to be 10mm. The reason for this is to literally block off so no air is sucked in. Okay? Because you don't want to suck air in. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to almost knock you guys over. Just trying to get to a socket here. And I got a pile of debris here. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to suck air. That's the most important thing. Sucking air will cause your engine to burn up. Just give it a little snug. Whoop, wrong way. Snug. That's it. That's all there is to it. So, what have we learned? 6mm bolt, 10mm head, which is how it comes on, a flat washer, and your gasket. Now, you can take the gasket off the banjo. This is the banjo right here, called the banjo fitting. And then you have your banjo bolt. Right here. And it comes with two gaskets. One goes on first, then your banjo fitting, and then the gasket goes on this side. Take either side off and use it on the back side of that. Then you can block it here, loop it here, but put oil in it so it can still run, and then put your line on here so your cable can move back and forth without binding up. Okay, now is the question. Now that I've done all that, what do I premix it at? Get yourself some nice quality Lucas. The book for the bleeding procedure, on bleeding this, they want you to run a 20-to-1 mix. Okay, 20-to-1 fuel oil mix for the bleed procedure. To get all the air out, I got my climber manual. Use my little handy dandy zip tie, and right here, operate the engine on a 20-to-1 fuel oil mix during the following procedure. Failure to do so may cause severe engine damage. Okay, that's for the bleeding procedure. Okay. You don't need to do a 20-to-1. You can run a 25-to-1. Okay? So on the back here, or a 24-to-1 I meant. Alright, so I'm all over the place here. Okay. So I used the 24-to-1. 1 gallon, 5 ounces. 2 gallons, 11 ounces. 3 gallons, 16. 4, 21. And 5 gallons, 27 ounces of good quality oil. Okay, that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. You really don't have to go any different from that. Some people like to run a 30 to 1 in this, which I think is kind of lean. 32 to 1, I mean. Did I see a 32? Some people like to do the 32 to 1. I find that a little on the leaner side, but they've had decent luck with it. I don't recommend it. I think these little engines work hard enough without you adding more stress to them. So if you're going to block off your oiler, I'm going to recommend a 24 to 1 oil-fuel ratio. And you obviously want to see the blue smoke. So, unless you use a smokeless oil like this right here, this is smokeless, semi-synthetic, and low ash. So, always look for a good quality oil, low ash, smokeless, semi-synthetic, high-performance oil, Lucas. You can't go wrong with Lucas. Okay? I use this stuff in everything. Honestly, it is good quality oil. Haven't had any issues. So, that's it. One more time, just because I don't like doing this, but I know you guys do. So I want to reiterate, or however that word goes, one more time. Loop, fill it. Not all the way. Halfway's fine. Put a tube on here so your cable can slide back and forth. Plug up your grommet up top there. Plug up your grommet right here. 6mm 1.0 threads with a flat washer and your the gasket. Okay, and that is it. And then when you put it all back together, put it back together the way you would. So I hope you and a 25 to 1 fuel oil ratio. I hope you guys find this video informative, and I hope you guys follow the procedures, because if you don't do it this way, you're going to end up with some issues. You're going to end up with dirt and debris in here. If you leave your oil line hooked up, you're going to be starving your pump for, starving it from oil, and then eventually, I mean, it's already lubricated, it's already wet with oil, but over a period of time, it's going to spit the rest of the oil out of the banjo, and then you're going to burn up this gear. These teeth are going to end up in your oil, and then you're going to have transmission problems, clutch problems, and all what have you. If you don't put the grommet here, don't plug that. You just leave the hose hooked up, and just disconnect it from right here. Now your debris is going to be, dumping into here. It's just going to be a mess. Just block it, and then don't forget to block here, which is the most important part of the entire thing, because that will suck air, and then you'll have yourself, or you'll be needing an engine or a rebuild. So that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Honestly, I'm gonna say this one more time, and only because I've had some great luck with them. These oilers, guys, are great. The only problem I've ever had with them was on my KM, my yellow one, where it over-oiled. And if that's my only problem that I've had in over 20 years, I'll keep it. That'll be my problem. I'll replace the pump. This pump is designed to give you the proper the oil-fuel ratio every single time. It's been tried. It's been tested. This same pump is used by other brands like Suzuki, Yamaha. It is it's a Mick. That's all I can say. It's a good quality pump. It's been around for decades. Decades. I'm going to say it one more time. Decades. Great pump. Highly recommend leaving it hooked up. But for those who like the motocross aspect, they want to take the, I know a lot of you guys take the oil tank off. You use diamond plate and, make a little diamond plate cover there. That's fine. Make a toolbox, whatever. You want to do something else with that space. I get it. So that's why I did the video upon request. But I do urge you guys to leave it hooked up, obviously, just because it is a good piece of equipment. But if you want to block it off, this is how you do it. So anyway, guys, this is the video on how to eliminate your automatic oiler. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you have any questions or comments. And I hope you found this video informative, and I hope you guys follow it, because I can't see, if you don't do it this way, I can't see your bike not having issues down the road. You know what I mean? Whether it be water and dirt, whether it be a lean condition, broken plastic drive gear. I mean, if you want to take the plastic drive gear out, you can do that, surely, but you got to split the case, and it really doesn't seem like it'd be worth all that work to do that. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good night.